Hi, good morning. Welcome to Basement Chronicles Live. My name is Lisa Dublin, and I have a simple question for you this morning. Are you happy doing the work that you do? Are you? Are you happy going to work this morning? Is this the job, the dream job? And, if you're not, what would it take for you to do work that you love? Now, good morning, wherever you're joining me from. My name is Lisa Dublin, as I said. And, I really want you to participate this morning. So, could you go fill out this form for me right away? I'm putting it in the chat, okay? Wherever you're watching me from, the question is up. I'm going to go over to LinkedIn afterwards and then put it in the comments. But it's a simple two-part question about, are you happy doing the work that you love? What would it take? That kind of thing. It won't take you more than 2 minutes to fill out that form for me. Because today we're kind of changing things a little bit. I want to leave you inspired. I love to ask the question, what if? What if you could do work that you love? Work that you were meant to do? What if you could walk in your calling and make an impact while making an income? Would you like that today? So let's get started. I'm kind of pursuing a new thought, a new way of living, of being, that I call Ingbedo. I'm not going back to the office. Okay? Can you say it with me? Ingbedo. INGBTTO. It stands for I'm not going back to the office. Now, I want to explain a couple things about it. This is not for everybody. Some people love the work that they do. They're meant for the establishment. They do well, and so they are walking in their calling within the office. But there are some people like me, maybe like you, who, when I asked the question, are you happy working where you are? Are you happy in the career? Maybe you answered the question, no, I'm not. Maybe what I'm going to say is for you. There are some people who are not meant to be in the office, who are meant to be perhaps like me, speaking, coaching, writing. Can you hear me this morning? Make sure, let me know if you can hear. Say hi, say good morning. Let me know if this is working well. It seems like everything's doing okay. Welcome on Instagram as well. We're live there this morning as well. But if that is you, if you have that bent of doing something creative, or you want to go into entrepreneurship, or you do not like the rigidity of the office, I had a taste of it during the pandemic. And when I realized that it was possible to work from home and to make a living, I did two things. The first thing that I did, like, I'm that person who, I love God. I will go to him first. I was like, Lord, give me that opportunity. I do not want to go back to this office. Make it so that I had the opportunity. Give me this gift of working from anywhere. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing that I did was to literally begin to say, I'm not going back to the office. To anybody who was close to me, my family members, people close to me, knew I was saying that all the time. I'm not going back to the office. I'm not. I was confessing it. And then, of course, I had to get to work. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. I've written the book and it's coming out next year. It's literally called I'm Not Going Back to the Office. And what I want to do and what I foresee is that it's going to be part of the movement of people who've decided, especially since the pandemic, that they decide, you know what, there has to be another way to be relevant, to make a living without the rigidity of the office, without being away from my children, without having to have other people pick up my children because I can't, because I'm in the office. I put out a post about my book cover earlier this week, and the responses were just overwhelming. I connected with a few people and recognized I was not the only one. So there were people who are like, I'm looking for opportunities that are not based in the office because my children are, growing up in the world. They are doing sports at a semi-professional or professional level. And I find myself stuck in the office, not being able to travel with them because I've got no more vacation days. There has to be a better way. And I believe that a lot of life and a lot of what we get from life, it first begins with you making a decision and being like, nonsense. If other people can do it, I can do it too. The minute you make that decision, you begin to see the other worlds that are possible. Like, there's a whole other world of people who are working on their own time, who are making their own money, who are doing things when they want to do it, when they can do it. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Good morning to you. There's a whole other world, a whole industry, a whole other world that you don't know until you turn your gaze from the grip of the 9 to 5 and be like, what else is possible? And so I don't want to just rile you up this morning. I want to take it step by step and to help you to ask the question, what if? So Instagram, if you're listening, I'm going to put this form. Just go out and fill out that form for me. Like, and let me put it here again. There it is. Just to go fill out this two question form about, am I happy working in the office? What would it take for me to be happy? What kind of work would I like to do? That kind of thing. So go fill out the form. It won't take you 2 minutes. It would give me some more information and kind of tailor how we speak, because every Friday from now on, we are going to be speaking about walking in your calling, about the alternatives to work and the alternatives to the office and how that can potentially apply to you. So tag somebody right now, like and share this post, because for many people who are suffering in the office, and like, there's just so many things. I feel like I'm pretty good around that time of the month, but a lot of women, they have to struggle, especially as you get older, have to struggle with being in an office dealing with people, and your body is not right inside. You don't have that comfort or that energy or that ability or freedom to be able to stay home when you're having that time of the month. It's just not a possibility for you, because you have to be in the office. You have to be on somebody's time. And you know what? Power to the office. I learned so much. I will always say that I'm good at the administrative part of my business, because I learned to be administrative in a job that I didn't like. So there are benefits to it. We are not going to like burn down the bridges and be like, oh my gosh, like free ourselves. No. But things happen in stages, and I do believe that there's a way. Here's one thing I want to point out, even before I go on. A lot of people have said to me, but I am not a business person, so I belong in the office. Hey, Janine, how are you? Good morning to you. Let me put up that comment. I'm not a business person, so I belong in the office. There is an alternative. You don't have to leave the office and go into your own business. Do you know the number of remote jobs that are available? I have coached some women who have not stepped into an office in 10 years. This is long before COVID. They are the top of their game. They are managers, and they have not been in an office. So if you think dressing up on a morning, putting on uncomfortable clothes and shoes, facing and braving traffic, having to drop off your children instead of, like for me, one of the rewards of taking this route was that I'm now able to homeschool my children, and not even that I do on my own, because God knows I can't. Like, there's a whole system here. There are online homeschooling schools that would provide what you need and help your children. And it's one-on-one, it's small classes, you just simply supervise and so on. So you are not providing the curriculum, which I didn't want to do. So you have options. So instead of you having to do that, wake up at a time and go to work at a time you don't want to, and work in a time when you are not productive at all, right? Instead of not being able to pick up the children and having to employ people to do that, or send them to a daycare, which was what was my story, and pay like almost like, oh my goodness, it was almost the cost of a mortgage to be able to have these kids and to be picked up, because I was stuck in the office and I could not leave. And I remember after COVID, you got the freedom of COVID to be able to leave and go when you want to. I will never forget, like going to one of my superiors at the time and being like, can I continue to work from home, because it will allow me to work in the office, to pick up my children and so on. And that person said, well, you know what, well, everybody has to do that. Everybody has to kind of make these sacrifices. And I understand that's the job. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. But I don't have to take it if I really think very strongly about it. So instead of doing the entrepreneurship route, you can also work for companies. Hi, Rebecca. Good morning to you. Good morning. My Instagram friends are also saying good morning. You can also work from home for a company and be fully remote. So this I'm not going back to the office does not mean I'm just going to go out and do my own business when I'm not even entrepreneurial. It means that I am saying that this is not for me. I'm going to find a job that will help me to work remotely, or I'm going to do my own business, or I'm going to do a mix of both. Most people do both. Most people do both. So we've got options. And when I really think about it, okay, if you're walking in your calling, some people's calling is to be in the administration, be in the office, that's fine. Power to you. Mine is not. And for me, it got to the point where I was like, okay, what is my calling? What is God calling me to do? I knew for sure it had to be in communication. It had to be speaking, writing, coaching. And that's where I make the most sense. And so that's the first realization. So I have this whole thing that I do with people about finding your why and what is your calling. Because my simple equation is, bear with me, I have like a whole, I want to take you through the entire process this morning. I literally called it salt it, and I'll tell you why. But let's get there. My simple equation is your gifts and your skills plus your big why is equal to your calling. And when you find that, it's not going to be work. You're going to solve a problem in the world that people will want to pay you for, and you will be more satisfied. Now, people can get satisfaction from working in the office, pushing paper. I'll never forget, like, moving through certain jobs in the office where I worked. And I didn't realize one job in particular, Lord, at least the first one that I got, I was kind of using my mind a little more, whatever. The second job was basically pushing paper. Got the job, moved into the cubicle. When I realized exactly what it was, I cried like a baby in that office. I was like, you mean to tell me this is what I'm going to be doing? Like, I had to take a moment there, a couple days or even weeks, to kind of settle into the reality that I was coding stuff into the system, putting papers, checking for signatures. I was not meant for that. And that realization is not arrogant, it is wise. It is life-giving, life-sustaining. It is survival for me to thrive in this world. Some people can do it. Some people look at a job as drudgery. It doesn't matter what I do. I just go to work and I just do the people's work and go back at my home. That's okay. And perhaps in a way that's wise for a while. Okay. At some point, and I think this happened since COVID to kind of give us a taste of what was possible, there was a validation of online work, wasn't there? There was a validation of still being able to get the job done, even though you didn't have people breathing down your neck coming into your cubicle. Okay. There was a validation that if you were so inclined, the working on your own might be just what you needed. And I'm very introverted. I always say that, and people are like, what? No, I get energy from being alone. That's what being introverted is. The introversion, extroversion is about where do you get your energy from. Some people need to be around others for them to light up. I need to be alone, have those quiet times for me to be recharged, for me to, find my bearing, and then I come out into the world. It's just how we are built, okay? When I realized that this is the kind of person I was, the next question that I asked is, what are my gifts and talents? Yes. What is a problem in the world that I can solve? Are you listening to me this morning? I feel like what? I feel like I'm in a class. You guys, are you listening? What are you thinking? How are you answering the question? Have you gone and done the form for me? Right? Simple. I just put it up. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, I think you should be able to see the form. Thank you very much. Or I think it's just Facebook or YouTube. So you might want to go and join my YouTube channel right now. Subscribe to Basement Chronicles, and then you'll be able to see everything. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca says, I'm listening and it resonates. So let me tell you, we're all meant for something. Don't be thinking because you're not the speaker or the coach. Every single person has a problem that they solve in the world. And if the pain point is deep enough and you can solve it well enough, you can make an income and make an impact. What problem do you solve in the world? Think about your gifts and your talents. What do people come to you for? What are you known for? What is the question that people ask you all the time? And here's a very key one, my dear listeners, this morning. What is easy for you to do, but hard for others? Hmm? Now, don't tell me something like, well, I can binge watch um 6 movies at a time or whatever. No, okay, no. Who's gonna pay you for that? Okay. What is easy for you to do in this world? And people marvel at when you do it, right? For me, it's speaking, it's just having words for days and being able to teach people how to do that. And some people might argue that, oh, yes, you just naturally have the gift, but it's not just that. Whether or not you have the gift, you can speak, you can learn the basics, the art and the science of speaking. Just seeing somebody doing it effortlessly does not tell you whether it's gift or whether it is practice. It's the both of them. And so you too, you can apply those gifts. I'm just giving my example. Think of yourself, because before we go out and be about, I'm not going back to the office, whatever, you have to think about, what are my gifts and talents? What is my big why? My big why in this world is that I want you to win. And I always say that, like, let's go. Because of that why, and joining the gifts of speaking, writing, the skill of coaching, right? And with the why, I will do stuff like show up here. I'll do stuff like um do my workshop. By the way, the workshop is coming up. I almost forgot to say that. I'm just so excited. I just always do that. I'm so excited. I forgot. Okay. By the way, this workshop is coming up, and I really would like you to attend the workshop. And I'm looking for the workshop now. There we go. Right. That's another way that I add value to the world. Let me just remove the comments. Thank you, Janine. That's another way that I add value to the world. These workshops will help you to win in life. If you're on Instagram, you can go to the link is in my bio, go sign up there and come on out on the 24th of November, where I will teach again, and with increased, like more insight, I will teach you how to go after the new goals for 2025. You know what I'm going to do right now, let me put the link. Hold on. Let me put the link for somebody just signed up for that. Hold on, you guys. I am going to put the link right here for my Instagram people. All right. Oh, I can't post. Can I? Can I? And then I will do it here as well. So here's the link to go sign up for this workshop, because it really makes sense to know exactly how to go about solving a goal. That is the whole point of the workshop. Okay. What did I do with my my Instagram people? I did something that I shouldn't have. Anyway, I hope you guys can still listen and still hear. And so these are for me, this is what it is. Your gifts plus your why is going to be equal to your calling. What can you do with the calling? Who can you help? Who can you help? And I've been listening to a lot of coaches, like done a lot of masterminds as I set a business and learn to do things properly. And one of the things they say, like, if you're just starting out, find one person to help. Find one person whose problem you can solve and go solve it. And then you learn from that. You solve it well enough that you get results that you can then apply to helping other people. The other thing that happens when you go out and find one person to help in the world, if you're just starting out and you're like, you know what, this has to be a push and pull factor. You're going to go out and deploy your gifts in the service to mankind, because the push factor is, I'm not going back to that office. I'm not doing this. I am not doing this anymore. No, 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 no. So you have to feel that visceral kind of, there has to be a better way. Other people have done it. Why can't I do it? A lot of people are stuck in the office, not because they like it, but because they do not think that the success that other people have had, that they can have. You have to ditch that thinking today. And you have to at least Don't you, maybe you might not be able to start from, oh my gosh, I can do this. But at least, dear listener, you can start with, what if? What if a year from now, with the right tools, with following Lisa here, signing up for the courses, reading the book when it comes out. The book is going to be called I'm Not Going Back to the Office. We're starting a whole Ingbedo movement. Ingbedo. INGBTTO. Okay? What does that stand for? I'm not going back to the office. Because I felt viscerally about it that I was meant for more. I'm not doing this anymore. And then the question was, then Lisa, what? Okay, that's what we're answering today. I hope this is making sense for you, right? So we're about finding a thing to do. Now, many people, when they find something that they want to do, they think that it's going to come very easy. It's not. Everything is going to conspire to leave you in your place, to leave you where you are. Everything around you, the cares of the world, of family, or whatever, you're like, no, I cannot do this. You know what? I'm just going to retire in this job. When I'm done, almost on the brink of death, then I will consider this thing this child is calling about calling. Because look at her, right? Let me not go there this morning, okay? But more is possible, and that's what I want to bring to you this morning. Let's move on. What is the place of desire? I brought my books for you this morning. I want to show you some of the books that from 2020 to now have helped me to upgrade my thinking, have helped me to help my clients, have helped to keep me going, form part of the foundation of the things that I teach, and people don't even realize it. So let's go. There's a couple things I'm sharing. It's okay to share, because half the people, this is not implementation. Half the people are going to look at these books and be like, what am I going to do with this? And that's when you come to me. I'll coach you to be able to go through that process. Need to stop moving my mic around. Sorry about that. So what now do you do? What do you do when you've discovered I want to do a thing? I start with desire. And here's what we're going to do. What if? Start to imagine yourself different. Start to imagine yourself working perhaps in your own office, or logging in for a remote job, getting paid more than you are, in the comfort perhaps of your sweats, and not having to brave the weather, the snow, the congestion in the traffic. Have been able to leave at maybe 3 o'clock, go pick up your children from school, bring them back, have time to do the cooking. Imagine these possibilities, not being so rushed, having time for self-care, having time to bathe every part of your body, even that. Because sometimes when you're rushing, oh my gosh, I have to go, I'm on the time, and so on. What if there was a way to consider these other ways of doing business and doing life? Hi, Natalia. How are you? Good morning to you. What if? I'm just saying. And so when I realized, I began to desire it. I spent all of 2020, 2021, 2022 into 2023, I think. I spent all this time incubating in imagination. You guys, if you want something, whatever it is, you have to begin with imagination. And you know the book that I would recommend for this? This one. Guys, see? Think and Grow Rich, the complete classic text by Napoleon Hill. It's not just about money. It's about possibility. That's what this book does. You won't believe all of the very wealthy people who I follow, a lot of them point to this book. Some of them are very stouche now. They won't say it, but what they say tells you that's where it came from, because I know the book, right? Get this book. Get it on. I have it on Kindle. I have it on audio, Audible, and then I have it like in this form. Because all of the people who made it said that that's where they started. Like, well, Lisa, why would you want to go and reinvent the wheel? What it teaches you to do is to desire. The chapters on desire and the chapter on auto-suggestion, please don't just listen to me today and then go off and not do anything about this. It first starts with desire. It first starts with wanting something so badly, so much, that you are willing to work for it. Start to see yourself like waking up on your own time, or for me, what it was, and I relished that so much, the ability to work when I'm at my most productive time. It's definitely not 9 to 5. I used to be in meetings. Has that ever happened to anybody? You are in a meeting, maybe mid-morning or mid-afternoon, and all you can think about is, if I were in my bed at this time, I pull back the covers, I fluff up the pillows, I would just crawl under there. Just all I need is 20 minutes. 20 minutes for a cat nap. But no, I'm on their time. So you have to do all sorts of things to keep yourself awake. Pinch yourself. Do your life. No. I want to work when I'm at my most productive time. And for me, that is the wee hours of the morning. Anything can be done between those hours. I want to do that kind of work. I want to, when you sink in the time and when you do it when it's most effective, what you produce is way better than just, it hits the back of your throat. Like when you're thirsty and you have a cold glass of water. That's the most I can say. Like I used to sit in those meetings like, you know what? I could just simply say, excuse me right now, and just go to my bed, jump in my vehicle and just go home and sleep. I could know. Lisa, I have seen myself doing it. It's not fair. It's not fair. And you can do better. So this book, for desire, for wanting something so bad, I'd see myself like being able to go pick up my children and not having that angst of, oh my gosh, I'm on somebody's time, I have to rush back, whatever. But knowing that there'll be times when I'm working for that day that I'm putting in the hours and loving it while I do it. That is possible. And I want to stoke your desire this morning for more. Here's another book that helps, right? Our time is almost upon us. You see this book? This, like, it's not a classic as yet, but Lisa is going to help make it a classic because it absolutely is. It says it's by Jamal King, and ironically, it says 9 to 5 millionaire, don't quit your day job. I've spoken about it in my podcast. I think it's episode number 10, where I looked at books that have changed my life. This book helps those people who have faith or want more faith. It helps you to approach achievement from the point of view of faith. This guy, and I always say that, you must have heard it already. Get the book, read the book. If you want to increase your faith and to see the impossible, Jamal King is the guy for you. I love this book because he wanted a kid and he didn't have a child. He had two girls. He wanted a boy. Like the I don't even know. Like, how could you want a boy and you already have two girls? He's like, no, the God that I serve is big. And so they tried for the first time, I think, like in the third year, no kid. They kept on trying to have this kid, and his wife was not even getting pregnant, right? And after 3 years, most people give up. Not so. Jamal King, let me tell you what he did. He was already into investment. And so this is a book that teaches you how to have multiple streams of income, real estate being one of them, to make it easier to transition into doing work that you love. Okay. And you know what he did? This guy, after 3 years, you'd give up. What he did, he doubled down, because he's like, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open. Okay, Lord, I've asked, I have received. And so the evidence of this is he went and he built in his dream home a room for his son who was not here yet. And he put in a urinal. Okay, that child's room had everything that a boy is supposed to have. He put a rocker in there, baby clothes, kids' clothes in the drawers, right? And he said that he would sit every night in that room, in the rocking chair, and he'd speak to his son. He'd speak the word of God. And you know what? After 7 years, Lord, 7 years, this man and his wife got pregnant. He said he did not even need to know if it was a boy. He just knew. that he was having a boy, and that's what his son is here now. And the way he describes faith is believing is that thing that brings things into reality, into a physical reality, because when you ask and you receive from God, it's already received, and he says it brings it into reality. So you've got to keep on believing. So that book for faith, that book is part of Ingbido. That book is part of, if you are going to be doing something new, you're going to need all the support that you need. Here's the last book. Anybody knows about this book? Look at the state of my book. You can tell. If you want to go on this journey of creating your own thing, okay, this book is called Discipline Equals Freedom, and it's by somebody called Jocko Willink. I think he was a Marine, a SEAL, right? So he knows about severe and radical discipline to go after what you want. I would recommend it whether you are male or female, because discipline doesn't have any gender. To get anything done, you need radical discipline to do what you said you're going to do, and do it when you said you're going to do it. I'm going to stop here today. I hope I inspired you to at least ask the question, what if I could walk in my calling, make an impact, and make an income? I'm here to help you. I am a life coach. If you are that person who feels this morning, reach out to me. Send me a DM, or reach out to me wherever you're watching me now. Send me a DM or text me or something if you've got my number. And let's talk about how coaching can come alongside you and be that thing that you need to get you to the next level. But you have to really, really want it. You know what I mean? Let's discuss ways to make that happen. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing, what a right timing God we serve. Yes, definitely a right timing God we serve. Absolutely. So tomorrow I'm going to be on, and this one will be called Overflow, because I wrote a book called Worship at Midnight, and I'll be talking about two things, faith and worship. This one. So if you're not ready into God and you're just into this, what I'm talking about, okay, that's fine. But you're missing out though. So you want to join me same time? I won't be on LinkedIn. I don't think that's a platform for it. But I'll be on Facebook, and definitely on my channel, Basement Chronicles. So please go subscribe there so you get those notifications. Have a great day, everybody. And my wish for you is that you will walk in your calling. Bye. Take care.